This broadcast is partnered by Ekster Wallet. Tonight on AEW Dynamite, we have the annual Blood Guts, where Team AEW takes on Team Elite. We also have Dr. Britt Baker making her in-ring return against Hikaru Shida. We are going to talk about all of that and more right here in Alyx's World. Hello all, and welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I am your host, Alyx, just Alyx, and this is your AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts review. Is this 4 weeks in a row? We are 4 weeks and counting of great, awesome episodes. Since Forbidden Door, AEW has been killing it. I don't think I'm in the minority when I say this. I feel like the build-up to All In 2 at Wembley Stadium is better. Feels better than the build-up last year. To be fair, there was no build-up last year. Tony Khan essentially threw a card together, but we were excited for that event because 85,000 were going to be there. I don't know if 85,000 are going to show up this time, especially when you consider the ticket prices. Maybe when they lower those ticket prices, we'll get more people buying. But last I checked, it's around 50, which is still a big audience. Let's not scoff at that. Whether it's 50K, 60K, that's still a lot of people for the event. I don't really care. Regardless, in terms of the build-up, the storytelling, the hype for the show, All In 2 is 10 times, no, 100 times better than what we got last year. I think the card already, it's not even done yet. I think the card as it is, man, it's already better than last year. The way that they're setting up all of these matches, the way they're telling their stories, I've been very hesitant to say that AEW's back, but it's feeling like All Elite Wrestling has found their mojo once again. 4 weeks in a row. The episode on the 3rd of July, great. The episode on the 10th of July, great. Last week's show, 250. Great. This week? Great. Another great episode. And I love that things improved now that we have new writers. You guys know that, of course, they hired Jennifer Pepperman, a former writer from WWE, and then they brought in Robert Evans, a creative writer from, I think, Impact Wrestling, right? Impact Wrestling and TNA. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have another writer. They brought in another writer from WWE that was recently released. I forgot his name. All I know about are those two, Robert Evans and Jennifer Pepperman. Now, Pepperman is writing the women's division, and we're seeing how well that's going right now. 3 feuds, very strong feuds. Willow, Chris, Mercedes, Britt, and of course, the women's championship feud, Tony, Timeless Tony Storm, and Mariah May. All 3 of them, fantastic. All 3 of them. All of them should be at All In, by the way. All 3. Nah, screw that. Well, we gotta have 2. Nah. All 3 should have a match at All In. You can get all of them on there. Women's division is killing it. But we gotta start off. Thank you, Jimmy Jacobs. Well, no, Jimmy Jacobs has always been there. Jimmy Jacobs has always been there. It's another writer. Although Jimmy Jacobs does help. Jimmy Jacobs, Robert Evans, Pepperman. Someone said Peppermint. No, Pepperman. And there's another. I'll have to ask someone. Maybe I'll ask Sean Rossap. I forgot who it was, but they started off the right way. Since last week, MJF and Will Ospreay did amazing numbers. That 1 hour classic, one of the best Dynamite matches, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. They had a full hour where, and I'm serious, they didn't lose one single viewer. They started off with 800,000 and they kept all 800,000 viewers for that first hour. And then it fell off afterwards. So this week, rightfully so, they kicked things off with MJF and Will Ospreay. Now, they didn't take up the first hour, but I love that MJF got rid of the international title and replaced it with the American title like it's a heel thing to do. Did they actually think Nashville, Tennessee, a very pro-American crowd, was going to boo MJF for making the international title the American title? They can't say United States Championship for copyright reasons, but the American Championship. That man turned into a babyface almost immediately. The crowd loved it. I mean, why wouldn't you? Although it's supposed to get heat. I think it got a little bit of heat, but come on now. A pro-American crowd. And you thought that was going to get fans to boo MJF. Fans already don't want to boo him. And now you're giving them even more of a reason to cheer him. Although Will Ospreay is an amazing babyface. And they did make it official that Will Ospreay will be taking on MJF at All In. So that match is scheduled. Other stuff happened on the show, including the debut of Camille. Now, I think Camille signed with AEW back in like February. So we've been kind of waiting on her to make her appearance. It's been a minute. She's just been sitting backstage, collecting a paycheck. Well, here she is, the muscle of Mercedes Moné. After Britt Baker beat Hikaru Shida in a really good match, by the way. Great chemistry, they've always had it. Camille instantly came out and whooped that ass. We're giving more heat to Mercedes and building more anticipation for their match at All In. Now, if Britt's gonna need some help to take on Miss Mercedes Moné, there's only one person I can think about that can come help her. And reports have been out, they've been out for a while, that Jamie Hayter is looking to be coming back for All In. They already are pitching matches for her to have. Now, I've come up and said that if you're going to do a match with Jamie Hayter at All In, it should be against Saraya. That just makes the most sense. Have Saraya go out there, do an open challenge. I'm going to have a match. I refuse to not have a match on this show. Jamie Hayter comes out and squashes her. And then Jamie Hayter joins Britt Baker in her match with Mercedes Moné. That just feels right. I feel like that should be the way to go. So I'm excited, really excited for where that's going. But as good as Mercedes and, of course, Britt is, you gotta give props to Mariah May and Toni Storm. This blood feud has me all kinds of excited. Now, I don't think they're going to add a stipulation this time around for Mariah May and Toni Storm. But in their next match, because there is going to be at least 2 or 3 more matches after this that they're going to have, we better get some kind of a last woman standing, dog collar, even a steel cage match. Because this is a blood feud. This is the kind of feud that has people really hooked. It's a really, really good, spicy, mean girl feud. And I'm excited for that. Murder Grandpa lost to Chris Jericho, as you expected, but that match was insane because they just chopped each other for like a good 20 minutes, and Chris Jericho got his blood vessels bursted. Not busted, but bursted from all them chops that he gave him. Insane. And that wasn't even what the show was about. We forgot that this was a Blood and Guts themed show. The whole point of this episode was Blood and Guts. Everything was supposed to surround Blood and Guts. But I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like the first, hour and a half was absolutely fantastic. The show was already great before the main event. And then we got the main event. And the main event was great. The ending was kind of anti-climax. Look. I don't want to hate on AEW too much because I think they're doing an awesome job. That's why I opened with positivity. But if I had to knock one thing, The ending of Blood and Guts was kind of anticlimactic. Now, listen to me, hear me out. I just think it's kind of ridiculous that Jack Perry, well, it wasn't even Jack Perry, it was Matt Jackson. But regardless, Jack Perry got lit on fire. He got lit on fire in front of our very eyes at Double or Nothing. Remember Anarchy in the Arena? He was lit on fire. And so here comes Darby Allin threatening to light Jack Perry on fire. And he doesn't even do it. Doesn't even light him on fire. But because, fire's too much, in this instance, they quit. The Elite quit and give Darby Allin a TNT Championship match at All In. I thought that was kind of anticlimactic. Because it would be one thing if they'd been teasing to light Jack Perry on fire and that built to like an Inferno match or something, which I think we're going to have to do some kind of a stipulation. If we're doing Darby Allin and Jack Perry at All In, that can't just be a regular one-on-one match. No. That better be anything goes, falls count anywhere, Inferno match, whatever the fuck. Probably Inferno match. That just feels like the appropriate match to do this in. But regardless, I don't know. I just kind of feel like that was a weak ending to what I thought was an otherwise great bloody match. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page took each other out, which makes me think that we're definitely not done with this. I do think somehow, some way, Hangman Page is going to play a factor in the main event at All In. He has to. He has to. Now, it's still Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland, which it should be. And they're telling a story with Bryan Danielson where he's just kind of happy to be there. I'm happy to be here. I'm just enjoying the ride before I have to quit, before I have to retire. And I'm grateful for where I am. And I love that they had Jeff Jarrett give him that pep talk. You've been given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Bryan. And I don't think you've taken this seriously. Mentally, you're just coasting. You're just happy to be here. There are reports, well, not even a report. There's been interviews out there where Bryan has come out and said he does not want to win the World Championship. Turn that into a storyline. It looks like they're doing that. But yeah, really talk about how Bryan is just here. He's just happy to be here. And Swerve is not taking him seriously because he knows he's just happy to be here. And so we need to awaken that dragon. If this is going to be Bryan Danielson's last match, which as the weeks go by, my opinion on that, again, it could shift when we get closer to All In, but my opinion on that might change. Because I'm starting to think, as we tell this story more and more, we could be looking at a new champion at All In. I mean, they're setting up the pieces very well. Because Hangman Page is here to make Swerve Strickland's life a living hell. And you got Bryan Danielson, who is the sympathetic underdog, believe it or not, going into this match, because no one thinks he's going to win. Literally no one thinks he's going to win, which is why I think he should. He probably won't. But if there was ever a time to give that championship to Bryan Danielson, you had the story, you had the place, you have the moment. Everything's in place to make this work. I would absolutely love it if AEW had Bryan Danielson's last run be for the championship. And then he comes out and says, look, the moment I lose this title is when I retire from wrestling. At least full time. I think that would be a beautiful story. And I think that's what they should do. Again, I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't think they are going to do it. But that's what I want them to do. I want them to have Bryan Danielson's last run be as a world champion. It would make no sense to me to have Danielson go all this time in AEW and not win one championship. We're calling him one of the best in the world. We're calling him literally the greatest technical wrestler of our generation. But he's not a world champion. I would love it if they gave him a run. It doesn't even have to be a year run. It should be a year run. He's well-deserved a long run with that title. Even if he doesn't want to do it, I don't give a damn. To me, he should be given one championship run to honor his legacy. Why not? I hope they do it. The pieces are in place. The pieces are in place for Bryan Danielson to win that title. Especially with Hangman Page lurking in the shadows to screw over Swerve. I'm telling you, All In this year, so much better than last year in terms of storytelling, in terms of the match card. Overall, the only thing that's going to be different is the crowd, is the attendance. I don't like that, especially since it is the second one. You have to think it was always going to be less people there. The second one rarely ever does better than the first. Still, I feel like of all shows, this one deserves to be the most attended show. AEW has shown me that when they put their foot down and they take this shit seriously, they stop worrying about drama of all sorts. And they focus on giving us quality shows with long-term stories, with a direction and a purpose. They're one of the best in the world. But again, I hesitate to say that we're back on track. 4 weeks in a row is amazing. But this is something they've done. Back in March, that entire month of March, since Sting retired, and then they had Okada and then Mercedes, I remember that entire month, every episode was a banger. Boom, 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 boom. And you're thinking, man, AEW's back. And then they did something stupid and fell off. I would love it if AEW just maintained this momentum. This is a huge momentum shift. Come on now. We're 4 weeks in. We're halfway there. We are halfway. 4 more weeks until All In. Can you at least give me that? I don't expect you to carry this momentum after All In. And anyone else expecting it, I'm going to be telling you to cool off on that. I expect there to be a cool down period. Some type of a cool down period after All In. But get into All In. Balls to the walls. No nonsense. Every episode, even Rampage and Collision, every episode needs to be a banger. I see someone in the live chat saying, this feels like a renaissance. A renaissance of AEW. I wouldn't go that far. Not yet. But I will say, this is a hot streak. They are on a very, very hot streak. And I need them to continue it. You have all the right people and the right spots with the right stories. And you're seeing the momentum start to come back. I think they had a pretty good sizable crowd. They were in Nashville, Tennessee earlier this year, right? I forgot which Dynamite. It was one of the Dynamites earlier this year. They did not do a good number. I think that was one of their 1,000, 2,000 attended shows. This episode, I think, drew in a good 6,000. 6,000, 7,000. WrestleTix, I think, showed me that they had at least 5. Now, the stadium they were in sat 20,000. Y'all know how I feel about that. I will say this. The crowd was loud as hell. It was a loud crowd. Very, very loud. You heard them throughout the entire show. I'll take 5,000 screaming, exciting fans over 15,000 sitting on their hands. This was a great crowd. I feel like going forward, if they continue to tell good stories, keep the characters interesting, continue to build upon what you already have, keep the heat going for everybody across the board, I think the numbers will come back. I think this week's rating is going to be interesting. I expect it to at least be 800. I don't think they're going to cross 1 million. If they do, wow. What a testament that would be. But I feel like we're going to get back to normal viewing because they usually do around 800K anyways. That's their audience. That's what they usually sit at, right? That's what their core audience is now. It used to be more. It's gotten less over time. And that's okay. That's okay. As long as you are able to understand why it wasn't working and just fix it. Because right now, they're still in negotiations for TV rights with Warner Brothers Discovery. And Warner Brothers just lost the NBA. They have no contact. They have no deal. They are no longer working with basketball. NBA is going to, I think, ABC, right? NBC, ABC, one of those two. I think it's ABC. Y'all let me know. It's not with Warner Brothers Discovery. No longer on TNT. And that was a huge, huge money draw for them. All they got right now is AEW. I'm not even joking you. Yes, they have reruns, they have movies, and I think the Big Bang Theory, that's TBS, I don't care. But no, like TBS, TNT, it's AEW right now. It's all AEW. So that's got to be a good sign for them. Someone just told me it's NBC. Thank you. It is NBC. Look, they do not have the luxury of fucking up, of fooling around. You don't have that luxury anymore, Tony. Every episode needs to be a banger. So far, so good. 4 weeks is a hot streak. But it should be regular viewing. You're going to have an episode that will not feel as special. It's going to happen. These next 4 weeks, you can't have one. Sorry. If you want a cool down episode, wait until after All In. When we start building to All Out. But you can't. See, that's another thing. You don't really have a luxury to do any of that. Because after All In, it's All Out in 2 weeks. And then after All Out, it's Grand Slam in 3 weeks. So you don't really have a cool-off period. And then not that far after that is Wrestle Dream, unless they drop Wrestle Dream and just do Full Gear. Personally, I would drop Wrestle Dream, and then use that 8-week period to build to Full Gear. Because I'm seeing how awesome these long-term build-ups are working with AEW. I'm seeing nothing but positive reviews. Lots of people talking about how AEW's back. We're back on track. I'm not quite on that train yet, because I've been here before. But I'm very pleased with where we are so far. So hopefully, we'll have more good things to come in these next 4 weeks, building to All In. And for the love of God, and I'll say this before we get to the review, shout outs and all that. For the love of God, please lower the ticket prices for All In. I'm hearing they're super expensive. Again, they're running a big building, so I kind of get it, but bruh, like, I don't understand, and this is just me. Last year, first time, ticket prices were lowered because it was all about the numbers. To me, you have a better card, better build. You're coming back for the second time around because the first time around, it was a classic show. I would think you could afford to lower the ticket prices this time around too. Now, I think eventually they are going to do it as we get closer to the event. Nah, you need to do it now. Right now. Because this card, I can already tell 4 weeks out, this is going to be a much better show than it was last year. And I gave last year's show an A+. I said it was one of the greatest shows of all time. I think this is going to be better than that one. So, let's hope that they can continue the momentum. Just give me 4 more weeks. 4 more weeks. And then if you want to be lazy and do whatever and play a randomizer, Tony Khan's favorites, after that, fine. But in the meantime, keep it tight, keep it strong, keep the narrative going, And anybody else that's not going to be on the All-In card, keep them off the show. I'm sorry. Your Kyle O'Reillys, your Dante Martins. I don't even think Chris Jericho's going to have a match. I would think he would. What? He fights Hook? I guess you got to have Chris Jericho on the show. Because I'm thinking about it. They have a solid 6 matches right now. You have the world title match, Swerve and Bryan. You got Will Ospreay and MJF. You got Britt Baker and Mercedes. You got the Women's Championship, which is Toni Storm, Mariah May. They're going to be doing TNT Championship, so Darby Allin and Jack Perry. And I think they're going to be doing the Acclaim versus the Young Bucks. That's 6 matches so far. I think they're probably going to add maybe 4 more. Because you got to get Okada on the show. Whoever's fighting Okada for the Continental title. Hoping that might be Kenny Omega. We don't know yet. We got 4 more weeks to find out. I'm thinking they're going to add Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, so that's 8. You got to do Paige and Jamie Hayter, that's 9. Maybe the Trios Championship match? I don't know. What is that, 10? They might do more than 10, never mind. It's a lot of titles. I don't know what Pac's going to be doing. You got to have Pac on there. Maybe it'll be Pac and the Lucha Bros versus Christian and the Patriarchy. There you go. There's Pac's match. Man, I don't know. Someone said House of Black. Ooh, House of Black? Ooh, Pac versus Ricochet? Wait. Really? I mean, we could do that. Ricochet's free. And apparently, reports say he's already talking with Tony Khan. So, Ricochet versus Pac at all. Ooh. Ricochet versus Pac at all in. You gotta have that one, flippity floppity doodah match. So there you go. There's your one crash course match. Man. Pac versus Ricochet? That's dope. Who said that? Who was the first one to say that? I see a lot of people saying it, by the way. Shout out to the first person who said it. I think it was... I gotta go through it. Was it you? Khalil Does Everything? Khalil Does Everything. That's a huge match, by the way. Yeah, man. I'm telling you. All In 2 is so much better than All In 1. Well, we gotta keep the momentum going. We can't slack off now. All right, let's go ahead and get to the rest of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for choosing me for your AEW Dynamite review. So without further ado, if this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Wow, you're at it. Help expand the brand by doing the following things. Join the membership. Click that join button and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing. Whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or a review, past, present, or future. Also, don't forget to give thanks. Hit that super thanks. If you would like to donate after the fact, you can. Also, let me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, just Alyx Central. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on Spotify. Give me a follow on Discord. Follow the Discord. Try me out on Cameo, try me out on Threads, but most importantly, give me a follow on TikTok, for I am the tickest of the talkest. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, and yes, Super Chats are officially on. You can donate at any point in time during the broadcast to get your thoughts played live on the air. Email me at justalyxsworld@gmail.com for business inquiries, just to say hi. And get yourself a t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees and Teespring. Are you a Just Alex guy? Then get you an I'm a Just Alex guy t-shirt. Most importantly, get you an old school Gillespie t-shirt. Get you a new school Alex as well t-shirt. To get you a blonde hair, blue eyes, apple pie. America Remix. This t-shirt is going out of style at SummerSlam. Be sure you get you a blonde hair, blue eyes, apple pie t-shirt before next week. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when it's out of style, it's out of style. It's been a minute since me and Ekster Wallet have come together for a partnership. But ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce I have re-upped my partnership with Ekster Wallet. Changing the way you carry your items one day at a time. I can help get you a smart wallet, maybe even an updated glow-in-the-dark wallet for the total amount of 40% off. I said 40% off any purchase from the Ekster Wallet store. All you gotta do is click the link and use the promo code JustAlex. Check it out. And let's get a quick word from our sponsor before we get to that shout out. Today's video is sponsored by Ekster. In today's age, old leather wallets are a thing of the past. People are looking for something more efficient. That's where Ekster comes in. It can fit in your front pocket or any other space convenient for your access. It is the perfect smart wallet for minimalists that only carry essential items such as credit cards and IDs. It also has a cool pop-up feature that allows you to see what's inside, so you always know what you're getting out. Plus, it comes with its own tracker that connects with your phone, so if you ever misplace it, you can instantly find it. Amazing designs, amazing features, all at amazing prices. And today, if you click the link down below and use the promo code JustAlex, you can get 40% off any purchase you make. I truly believe this is a great gift and it's changing the way people carry their items. So don't hesitate. Use the link below and get you a wallet today. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining me here. Be sure you hit that like button. The more you like the video, the more opportunities I will be given to be recommended here on YouTube. So boost that algorithm by hitting that like button. Also, show your love to the moderators, the Mod Squad, Ultra, Shine Nice and 5-star Heart, Elias, Ademi, New Japan Pro Wrestling Girl, Khalil does everything. Highway Dylan Danger, and of course Big NGM, because they help keep this a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Yes, I am super excited for what's to come with AEW. I think things are going to work out just well for them. Take a look at what you guys have been saying so far. Thank y'all so much for being here. You know, I've been optimizing my YouTube channel as of lately. I've been trying to make it so it fits to what the algorithm's new changes have been. Be careful. If you are trying to be a YouTuber, just know that over time, as you are creating content and you're getting your channel going, it's going to be good to go through your videos and make sure they're optimized. What does that mean? Make sure that it's monetized. Make sure that the engagement's high. You might have to cut out a few things to make sure that the engagement overall is good. I had to do that for a couple of my videos as of lately. Be sure that at the end you have a way to connect it to a different video. Make sure you have ending tags. One of those things where at the end of the video it shows you another video. Trust me, all these things are very important. You have no idea how they will affect your views. You're thinking they won't, but they will. I will say this. As my personal advice when it comes to being a YouTuber, and this is something that I want you guys to know, because I've been doing this for, 14 years now. Oh God, I'm not going to do anything else with the rest of my life. I am a social media content creator, through and through. My biggest advice to you is just know that there are going to be lull periods. There are going to be periods like I'm kind of in right now. I'm very grateful to be in the position that I am, to still be able to, be able to live off of this despite there being a lull period for my channel. When you go through a lull period, don't lose hope. Most importantly, do not quit. Because I'm seeing that a lot lately. I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers quit because their numbers aren't as high as they used to be. And when you got a family and kids to feed, those are those things where you have to make a decision to go, well, shit, I can't just continue to do something if it's not benefiting me financially. But let me tell you something. You will be a lot more rewarded. You will see your roost come home. The chickens come home to roost if you stick with it. This isn't the only time in my 14-year journey where I've had lull periods. And I've stuck through all of them. I am doing my best to get the numbers up. I'm doing my best to continue to give you the best content here on YouTube. as I compete with other people who are also doing a great job of giving you good content. People are talking about JD from NY. I did hear that his cat passed away. I'll have to send him a personal message about that. You know, the wrestling space here on YouTube has gotten a lot more competitive. Rightfully so. I think as of right now, and I'm not joking you, right now as I'm live, there are 10 other major big channels with thousands of viewers who are also live. I think people are still, they're watching me, but they're also watching JD from NY, Solid Monster, Good Mic Work. I think you got Wheezy. That's a new one. I just saw her going live. There are 3 others. Their names escape me. BC Amped. There's another one. The Larsons. I forgot their full channel name. It's like a good solid 10 live streams with tons and tons of viewers that I know about. It's probably like hundreds or more. So as the market gets a lot more competitive, I now have to step up my game and do what I gotta do to maintain my viewers and maintain the quality of my channel. And so it's a fight, but I wouldn't be doing anything else. Road Punk. I have a month and a half before I go to military school. Hey man, we support you. Best of luck to you. My stepfather was in the military. He was a Navy member. I forgot what his actual position was. I just know he was in the Navy. So, hey man, just know you always have a home here in Alex's world. Okay, shout outs. Who is here? We got YouTube member Higurashi. I gotta do a better job of giving my YouTube members a reason to hit. Look, let me just say this really quickly. If you're a YouTube member, thank you. I know I haven't been doing a very good job of giving you guys special perks, reasons to be members. Usually what would happen is I would be doing interviews with wrestlers, and then they would get early access to it. I haven't been doing interviews. I haven't been really giving y'all a reason to be members on my channel. So if you're a member on my channel, you're a member because you support me. And I am eternally grateful for that. So if I'm seeing any members, thank you. I'm going to see what I can do to reward you for sticking around as long as you have. But Higurashi, thank you so much. We got JJ, who let the dogs out? Who. Bulldog. I also see Joseph Winters. We got Anthony White. Sunset Jayton. What an episode. The level of violence was money. It was definitely money. I see Sleeping Angels. Sleeping Angel says it was okay. Not the best episode. We differ in that opinion, but thank you so much for sharing it. John Bill II says Dynamite was fantastic. The only thing I'm sad about is Hikaru Shida losing. Should be alright. Juan Orozco. I also see Chris Wrestling Views. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Chris Wrestling Views might be one of the most subscribed to followers I have. Now, Chris Wrestling Views has been a follower of mine for a while. And I think this is the first time I'm seeing you live. So, Chris, welcome, man. Thank you for being here. Get a couple more people. Shout outs here. James Nation Entertainment. Will Washington. I forgot about Will Washington. Will's been there for a good year, though. So it's good that he's helping out Tony Khan. Samantha Poole. From the world of AEW Combos Wrestling Edition. Hello, Samantha. Good to have you here. 412 Hamrock. Mike Pringle. Heavy J. Said the crowd was hot. Dro Davidian. Gave it a 9 out of 10. Shadow Star. David Hairston. Did I say that right? David Hairston. Striker Media. Striker Media Multimedia Inc. Excuse me. And the last one's going to go to Aaron Teagle. All right. Look, if I don't say your name, please don't be offended. I appreciate you for being here. And I'm going to do what I can to give you the best review here in the YouTube space. So let's go ahead and get to it. One last plug. If you're not following us on Discord, yet, please check out our Discord. The link to that is down below, and one of the moderators is going to link the Discord too in the live chat. So give our Discord a follow and join the conversation. AEW Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen, was live in Nashville, Tennessee. It actually had a pretty sizable crowd tonight. I was very surprised. Very surprised at the amount of people. I think it was around, and I'm not joking, was around a good 5,000, maybe even 6,000. I saw a picture. It was a pretty good audience. They were there in Nashville earlier this year. It was no 5,000, 6,000. It was around 1,000, 2,000. So it's good that they got their numbers up. They pretty much tripled the amount they had earlier this year. Now, I don't like the fact that they chose a building with 20,000 seats. I'm going to keep telling Tony, bro, just get you a smaller arena, a smaller building. Stop going to these big-ass arenas and expecting to sell them out. You're not there right now. Now, as time goes by and you maintain this momentum, you'll get there. But you gotta give it at least a good 6 months. Like, you've been doing it for 4 weeks. It's gonna take a little bit longer than 4 weeks to get your momentum back. Now, you will get it back. But it's gotta be consistent, and you gotta get fans to want to invest long-term into your product. Right now, fans, and I speak for myself, fans are hesitant. They're not really ready to go all in, no pun intended, with WWE. They are with AEW right now. Because you drew them away. And there's a lot of reasons that happened. We could talk about what happened with CM Punk. We could talk about other drama. Look, whatever the hell happened, you lost your fans' trust. And now you have to win it back. You're not going to do that overnight. And I don't expect you to win it back at All In. But it's a start. All In should be the start of AEW's true renaissance. And hopefully, we'll have a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, and I don't have to pay no $50 back to back for All In and All Out. We can just get it on Warner Brothers Discovery. I did see that some of the shows have been appearing on Warner Brothers, but not here in America. It's been appearing for France and other foreign countries, which is good. So, hopefully we'll get live pay-per-views very, very soon in the next 4 weeks. What better way to kick things off than with your new international champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman? Now, before that, they did show us that Alex Marvez was talking to Will Ospreay at a different location, and Marvez was telling Will Ospreay that MJF is opening the show. We see Will Ospreay trying to get into his car, and then we see one of his wheels was punctured. Someone put a knife in his wheel. I wonder who did that. That scumbag. So Alex Marvez was kind enough to give Will his car. Well, Will took the car, but still. Maxwell Jacob Friedman opened the show with cheerleaders. Give me an MJF. What does that spell? And the crowd popped. So, we're still in the honeymoon period of MJF's return. I think a lot of people are still hesitant to boo him. Now, he's doing a very good job of making people not like him. I say that while also realizing that he's almost doing the opposite with them now calling the international title the American title, but regardless. I feel like fans still don't want to hate Maxwell Jacob Friedman because he just got back. Yo, he's only been back for a month. It's not like he's been back for the last half year. He literally just got back. So, fans aren't really ready to hate him yet. But right now, he's doing a pretty good job. He came out there and he mocked Will Ospreay for not hitting the Tiger Driver. Thank you for bringing that up, because to me, That is the focal point of this story. We all know that when Maxwell Jacob Friedman eats that Tiger Driver 91, that's it. But essentially, Maxwell Jacob Friedman rubs in the face that he beat Will Ospreay in an hour, that he's one of the best in the world, didn't even break a damn sweat. He wants Will to take a long walk off a shirt. This is messed up. Take a long walk off a cliff and dig himself a grave next to his recently deceased grandmother. But leave some room because that quote-unquote fat skank needs all the room she can get. Lovely. He moves on to say the International Championship is worthless, held by workhorses who tried to get the crowd's affection by working hard. Ugh! What a joke. Working hard is for poors, and he's a main event talent. And so he took that title and literally threw it in the trash can. And then unveiled a brand new American Championship, which got a pop from Tennessee. Again, he's supposed to be a heel, but he's pro-American in front of a pro-American crowd. They popped for it. Now, he tried to say, now, when I mean American, I don't mean you slobs. I mean people like me. I'm just like, I don't know if that's going to work. And I even love that they played the national anthem and then had the flag fall behind them. The American flag with MJF's face on it. Like, this is a great segment. This is so good. Will Ospreay eventually shows up, runs off MJF, and then announces that they're going to have a match at All In. Man, look. Absolutely love it. Thought this was a great way to establish MJF as a villain, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I think MJF and Will Ospreay are gonna steal the show. They're gonna steal the show. Their 1 hour match last week, I doubt there's gonna be many matches this year that can top that. So I'm expecting their match at All In to be even better. And I'm excited to see what they can do. Real quickly, I just saw this too. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this super chat because it is asking the question. So we're going to go ahead and listen.
Hey Alyx, did you know about AEW sign Melissa Santos?
I did. Lucha Underground and TNA former TNA ring announcer Melissa Santos, the wife of the man they call Brian Cage, is now the new replacement for Dasha. I call that an upgrade. I have been begging them to sign Melissa for the longest time. And now that she's actually here, I think she's actually going to do a better job than Dasha did. I'm excited for her. Thank you, Mr. Sam P. Boone, for that donation. And thank you for reminding me about Melissa Santos, by the way, because so much happened tonight, it really didn't cross my mind. But next up, I believe we had Chris Jericho taking on Minoru Suzuki, Murder Grandpa. Murder Grandpa was in a match with Chris Jericho, and literally they would go 20 minutes, and I'm not making this up. 20 minutes plus a commercial break, chopping each other. Chop forever. Chop fest. Literally busted Chris Jericho's chest open, and it was bleeding profusely. It was red. It was bloody. It was basically chopped liver. He beat the piss out of Chris Jericho. It was great. And then Chris Jericho won with a low blow and a juice effect. Which all that for Jericho to win with a low blow and a juice effect. I guess it's good heel heat. And then the freaking learning tree came out to beat up Minoru Suzuki, and then Katsuyori Shibata showed up to run them off. So there you go. Don't know what that's building to. It's looking like we're going to have some kind of a match with Chris Jericho at All In. What that is, I have no idea. We'll figure that out. But yeah, that was a nice little chop fest. Backstage, we see the new CMLL Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale. Yes, you heard me right. Willow Nightingale won another women's title. The CMLL title. The same one that was held by Stephanie Vaquer. Is it Vaquer or Vaquer? I don't think I'm saying her last name right anyways. But we'll have to definitely see how WWE pronounces it. But anyways, yes, Willow has another title. Now backstage, before she can cut her promo, she's attacked by Chris Statlander. Well, she's greeted by Stokely Hathaway and then attacked by Chris Statlander. And I think that's building to a match for next week. An eliminator match. And if Chris wins, then she has to defend that title against her. Most likely at All In. I'm telling y'all. Willow, Chris, Mercedes Britt, and then Tony and Mariah. Those are very strong women's matches for All In. Very, very strong. I absolutely loved what they did here with Bryan Danielson. So, apparently Bryan was shooting for an interview with Renee Paquette. We only saw the end of it. Jeff Jarrett rolls up. He says Danielson knows better than anyone that he was crushed to not win the Owen. And Bryan overcame the odds that he couldn't. And he's the perfect guy. And he couldn't be more proud to raise his hand in Calgary to represent Owen. Literally the modern day Owen. But now he's going to face a champion. The champion. Who knows exactly what he needs to do to keep that title. And he knows Dragon needs to heal up physically. But he doesn't think he's mentally healed up. He feels like Bryan has one foot out the door. If he's going all in, he needs to go all in if he wants to beat Shane McMahon. You psych. Shane Strickland. Swerve Strickland. And he's right. And that's something, too, that fans have been kind of feeling about Bryan as of lately. It's like, it's this air of he's just happy to be here. It's this vibe that, well, I'm out in the next few weeks, the next few months anyways. Right? I mean, he did an interview where he literally said he doesn't want to win a world title. So to me, if the storyline is, well, Bryan, if this is going to be your last hurrah, we need your best. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to be rooting really hard for Bryan at All In. I'm going to be rooting very much so for him to beat Swerve. And I love Swerve. But I need Bryan to win this title. I need him to at least have one championship run before he retires. Dr. Britt Baker. DMD took on Hikaru Shida. These guys, these ladies, have had multiple great matches over the last, dare I say, 5 years. And this one was no different. This was a great match. Hikaru Shida apparently is, I feel like she's on the verge of turning heel. Although I thought she already turned heel after injuring Sky Blue on, well, not on purpose, by accident on Saturday. I thought that was a heel turn, but it feels like she's teasing the heel turn. Based off of what she did in the match. She tried to go for the candlestick multiple times, but she didn't. Britt Baker ended up getting the one-up, the better of Hikaru Shida, making her tap out to that, forgot what it was called. What did she call that again? What did she call her finisher? The lockjaw? The lockjaw. It's like the rings of Saturn with the mandible claw. Lockjaw. But as soon as that was over with, Mercedes Moné shows up in her cowboy or cowgirl hat and tells Britt Baker that, hey, you want a shot at my title? Too bad, bitch. Nah. And that's when Camille, the problem solver, or the solution, Camille shows up. Former NWA Women's Champion Camille shows up and beats the living piss out of Britt Baker. Love that torture rack spinning powerbomb. Really awesome finisher. Mercedes gets in there laughing, smiling, stacking the odds once again against Britt Baker. So it looks like Britt's going to need some help. She's going to need some help against Mercedes. And I think I might know just the hater, the Mercedes hater that will help you out. The hater. Jamie Hater, goddammit. We all know what we're talking about. Christian Cage. Trios champion Christian Cage says the fans don't deserve him in person, so he's doing his business from the bowels of the arena. He talks up the Trios championship victory and cedes the floor to Nick Wayne so he can talk about his chance to become number one contender. And then he meets freaking... Who was he talking to? I think he was talking to... I don't know. I feel like... Yeah, it was one of the... It was somebody. I couldn't pinpoint who it was. Was it Kip Sabian? I think it was Kip Sabian, right? Again, I didn't want to say the name because I wasn't sure, but I think it was Kip Sabian. Y'all let me know. Pac squashes one of those big bear men. Was it Bear Boulder or Boulder Bear? He squashed a big guy in like minutes. It was Kip Sabian, thank you. He squashed a big guy in like a minute. Beat him by a brain buster, which was awesome. We go backstage to Team AEW, where they basically said, look, I don't like you, you don't like me, we don't get along too fucking bad. We gotta find a way to come together. Come together right now. Over me. Doom, boom, doom, boom, boom, doom. And find a way to beat Team Elite. And then I think Mariah May took on a jobber. I'm not even gonna consider trying to say her name or figure her out. Mariah May, the match started. It was a shotgun drop kick. And then she basically went through Toni Storm's moveset. She hit the running hip attack and then Storm Zero and pinned her. This is the Glamour! The Glamour! Mariah May. And then they played Toni Storm's entrance music and we're just like, oh, is Toni here? And then she doesn't show up and Mariah's like, ha! I knew she wasn't here. Oh, but wait. Someone shows up in a wig. A black wig. Takes it off. It's Toni Storm! Mariah's like, aw, shit, this bitch. Then they fight. Of course, security and backstage officials come out to break them up. Toni gets on the microphone and says, are you prepared to die? Because I am. Yeah, like I said before, this feels like an actual feud that can go the distance. I don't think it's going to end it All In. I think All In is the beginning. And I think we can get multiple matches out of this. I think Mariah should win it All In, and I think Toni should end up, my personal opinion, having a series of matches with her. Violent matches. Last Woman Standing, Dog Collar, you name it. Texas Death Match, whatever the fuck. They might have to do a stipulation at All In, although I think it'll just be a regular match. Although the blood feud that we have right now probably deserves a lot more than a regular match. But we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, the last thing we'll talk about is, of course, the main match of the evening. AEW Blood and Guts, their version of War Games. That they can't say is War Games because WWE owns the copyright to War Games. We have Team Elite featuring the Young Bucks, Jack Perry, Kazuchika Okada, and Hangman Adam Page taking on Team AEW. The Acclaimed, Darby Allin, Mark Briscoe, and your AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland. I'm going to just cut to the chase. This match was awesome. This match had a lot of drama to it. Very fast paced. From the moment Darby Allin and Jack Perry got inside their ring, it just hooked you and it didn't stop. The commercial breaks were annoying, but they weren't as annoying as they were last week. Because there were parts in the match where it did slow down, and so it made sense to put it in a commercial break right there. You know what I mean? I also think because it was a long match and because you had intervals, where you had people coming out and when they come out, it resets the match. Yeah, it made a lot more sense to have commercial breaks in this. Although I do feel like you could have gone an entire hour with no commercials with this. So it didn't offend me as much that this had commercials as it did last week. MJF and Will Ospreay should have been commercial free. It should have been commercial free. But this was a very violent match. It had everything you could want. It had thumbtacks. It had barbed wire, steel chairs, candlesticks, tables. Someone climbed to the top of the cage, dove off of it, went through multiple tables, staplers, freaking staplers, and it almost had fire. We didn't quite get the fire. They had everything but a kitchen sink. I remember, what match was that? What match was that in the Attitude Era where Jim Ross made the statement, man, he's hitting it with everything but the kitchen sink, and then they pulled a kitchen sink from underneath the ring. Wait, was that? I think that was that an Al Snow match? It had to be a hardcore match with Al Snow. I remember that they said that. And he pulled the kitchen sink from underneath the ring. We might actually get that with Darby Allin and Jack Perry. But regardless, I thought this match was insane. I absolutely loved that Hangman Page didn't come out right away. And he only came out when Swerve came out. And then he, handcuffed Swerve to the cage. Jack apparently got busted open really badly. I think there was a point where Jeff Jarrett came out. Jeff Jarrett came out with Billy Gunn because one of the Elite members, I forgot who it was, but one of the Elite members came out, and then Brandon Cutler. Brandon Cutler came out, and apparently Billy Gunn and Jeff Jarrett were like, fuck this guy, and then they double teamed him. Jeff Jarrett hit with the guitar, and they helped Swerve get out of the handcuffs. Swerve gets inside the ring, Buck cuts his way inside the ring. And then they just go to war, and it was a full-on blood fest. And I love the fact that they brought back the stapler spot from Texas Deathmatch, where all members of the Elite had staples, and they all stapled Swerve, and then Swerve took them all out. It was so good. That was good. But essentially, Swerve and Hangman Page eliminate each other, and it was down to the 4-on-4. That's the Young Bucks, Okada, Perry, Darby, Mark Briscoe, and the Acclaimed. Again, I think the ending was a bit anticlimactic, but I understood what they were doing narratively. From a narrative perspective, it was to set up Darby Allin versus Jack Perry at All In for the TNT title. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't appreciate that, and I'm not against that. But it doesn't make sense to me that Jack Perry could be set on fire, and we see it happen at Double or Nothing, and then he's scared to be set on fire here. It's like, I'm going to set him on fire. And I'm like, if you're going to do it, can you at least set him on fire? And then have the Young Bucks say, like, look, man, put him out, and we'll give you your title match, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just we're going to set him on fire. I'm just like, but we already saw him get set on fire. Again, like, if we didn't see it, it wouldn't have been that, then it wouldn't have been a big deal. Then it's like, wow, we're going to build to someone getting set on fire. But to me, it was like, we already saw him get set on fire, so it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. It was kind of anticlimactic. But that's essentially how they won the match. Darby Allin threatens to set him on fire, and they say, okay. You get your TNT title match. You get a shot at the TNT title at All In, and then we quit, and Team AEW wins. Where did they win? I don't fucking know. To this day, I still don't get what we're doing with the Team Elite. It's just a big group of people with power. It has no impact. Like, what did they lose? They just lost a match. So, narratively speaking, I appreciate that it set up the TNT title match. And it furthered the feud between Hangman Page and Swerve. And it was an awesome match in terms of the crazy stuff they did. Is it the best blood and guts match I've ever seen? I still think Team Eddie Kingston versus JAS was the best one so far. That to me is a fantastic, perhaps the most bloodiest and craziest match they've ever done. Because I remember Daddy Magic hanging upside... No, it wasn't Daddy Magic. It was Cool Hand Ange hanging upside down on the outside like a dead body. That shit was crazy. And last year's was... What was last year's? Was that BCC versus the Elite? I think it was BCC versus the Elite, right? Because Bryan Danielson was supposed to be in the match, and then he got injured, so Pac took his place. Okay, yeah, it was. It was. All right. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, this was an awesome match. I'm not going to say it was the best because of that ending, but I enjoyed it. And narratively speaking, it did do a good job of setting up the TNT Championship match. So, overall, another awesome episode. 4 weeks in a row. Can we make it 5? I would hate if next week's episode was their lull episode. Nah, bruh. Come on, keep the momentum going. I want nothing but bangers until All In. They don't have the luxury. They do not have the luxury of skipping out a week. Every episode going into All In needs to be a banger. So, let's hope they continue the feud. Let's hope they continue their streak. Thank you all for watching. I am going to spend the next 15 minutes talking to the people in the live chat because you guys are awesome. Give me your grades. Give me your thoughts. Give me your scores. I'm curious to know how you guys felt about the show. And again, I thank y'all so much for choosing me for your live review. You could be anywhere else, but you chose me. Joseph Winter says, Bryan gotta get a run. Yeah, we gotta give Bryan one run with that world title. One. Let me see here. Let me see here for a minute. Bryan and Swerve could go either way, which makes it unpredictable. Anthony White? He's right. He's right. Hybrid 99, yeah, but the first one was a strong start to be honest, a good introduction. What's he talking about? Not quite sure what he's talking about there. Mike Pringle, I feel like Danielson will win. Him and Swerve will have a rematch at Wrestle Dream at the Tokyo Dome in Washington. Yeah, so if they're gonna be having Wrestle Dream in Washington, I don't think Bryan's losing. You gotta have Bryan at least hold it for at least a good year. This is a renaissance of AEW for now. Now it needs to be a full-on renaissance. Let's see. Meta Nux X Beats. This is a new one. What's up, Meta Nux? Maybe after All In, then we can determine if this is a renaissance era. Yeah, like I gotta wait. I gotta wait a good month or so before I say this is a renaissance. Before we just completely just go, oh no, AEW's back. No, because we thought they were back in March. Wow, yeah, freaking WBD lost the NBA, and NBA is moving to NBC. The NBA on NBC. AEW should at least go to HBO Max, or just Max. They should, and they will. I do believe that they are going to re-sign and get a new deal. I know that for sure. Pac versus Ricochet is nuts. That would be an insane match to do it All In, and I hope they do it. I hope they do that. Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee. Man, if Keith is healthy, I'm all for that too. Ricochet versus Aleister Black. Ooh. Well, we cooking. We cooking. Ricochet versus Sammy Guevara. Ooh. Ooh. Ricochet versus Pentagon Jr. Hey, Lucha Underground. Hey, Prince Puma. Prince Puma versus Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Dark, whichever one you want to go with. Ricochet and Ospreay. Nah, you gotta save that. Nah, you gotta save Ricochet and Ospreay. Don't give that one away for free. You gotta save that one. Joseph Winter says he loves Shida as a heel. Me too. I don't think she's gone full heel yet, but she will, and she should. Go full heel with her. And bring up Athena. I hope Athena loses that Ring of Honor title and then gets called up, because we need to get her on the main roster like tomorrow. Yesterday, honestly. Yeah, Melissa Santos signed. She's replacing Dasha. Ultra Shadow says, why is Chris Jericho still wrestling? Man, I don't know. I do feel like he's overstayed his welcome just a little bit, but it's Chris Jericho. We love Chris Jericho. Kip Sabian. Yeah, it was Kip Sabian. Thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and... Wait, what is this? It was a hardcore title gauntlet match. A hardcore title gauntlet match? Oh, wait. Was it a Crash Holly hardcore... The 24/7 hardcore championship? Was it during that? Maybe it was Al Snow and Crash. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do think you were right. I think you're right about that. I have to go back and look at that. Let me see here. I don't know if you watched Collision the other day, but what were your thoughts on the debut of Hologram? Yeah, I did see it. Thought it was good. I think... is it... I forgot who it was, but it was a luchador. I forgot how you say his name, but it's Aramis from GCW, AAA. I think he was also on MLW as well. Apparently, he's a really good luchador wrestler. And I do appreciate that they're creating an original character. So I like it. I had no issues with it. Let's see what they do with it. Okay, let's get your scores. Higurashi gave the show a 9 out of 10. Wow, good. Joe Ardeno gave it a 10 out of 10. Mike Pringle gave it a 9 out of 10. But I think it's time to make Blood and Guts a pay-per-view. Man, look here. Replace, and I say this with love. Forbidden Door was a great pay-per-view. I do feel like it's lost its meaning since we got Okada. I would replace Forbidden Door with Blood and Guts. I agree with you on that. Dylan Danger gave it a 10 out of 10. JJ Buddha gave it a 9.5. 9.5 out of 10. Khalil Does Everything says JD and Saw Monster came up with Ricochet and Pac. Oh, wow. Rolando Sabio gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Stephen Brom, 9 out of 10. Shadow Star, 9 out of 10. Lots of 9s. Great episode. Mercedes Monet was on IG Live saying hiring Camille is the first part to take over AEW and wondering what's next. She could be making a female faction. Oh, crap. Oh, she's going all in with this heel group. And that makes sense. Get her all the heat. Man, look. I'm excited for All In. And hopefully things work out for AEW in the long run. Guys, that's going to be it for me. You will see me again on Friday for SmackDown, hopefully. I'm thinking about probably... Because SmackDown is taped. They already taped SmackDown, so I might end up doing something else. But we'll see. If anything crazy happens, I'll be up here to talk about it. But for the most part, look here, y'all. The next live that I can guarantee you will be the SummerSlam preview and predictions. And then SummerSlam. And then, of course, I think Raw next week's going to be on Sci-Fi. So, we'll definitely see what these next 2 episodes, these next 3 episodes of WWE brings us. If anything crazy happens, I'll be up here live to talk about it. Those might just be uploads. But I think the next live stream is going to be SummerSlam preview predictions, AEW again, and then SummerSlam. And so I'm excited. And reminder, the Super Chat Championship will be on the line next Saturday. So if you want to take that title away from Corp CA, you better bring your A game, because he ain't going to let anybody just have it. He's a champ for a reason. So thank you guys so much for being here. As always, as you file out, do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and Venmo. It's a hot period. Wrestling's getting hot again for both WWE and AEW. So it's a good time to subscribe for more right here in Alex's world. The place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Peace. When you're
we love is right.